On March 11, 2026, Elon Musk walked onto a stage to introduce Macrohard. Internally known as Digital Optimus, this artificial intelligence system is engineered to completely automate complex, multi-step white-collar labor, effectively placing a digital worker inside the corporate boardroom. The project functions as a deeply integrated joint venture. It fuses physical computing hardware manufactured by Tesla with the artificial intelligence software developed by Musk's private startup, xAI. The stated objective is to directly threaten the software-as-a-service business model dominated by incumbents like Microsoft. Software as a service, or SaaS, is a delivery method where applications are hosted centrally by a provider and licensed to customers on a subscription basis. The live crowd cheered, and the internet exploded with speculation. Musk expressed high confidence, pointing out that no other company possessed both the physical manufacturing infrastructure and the digital scale required to execute this integration. But hundreds of miles away, inside the Delaware Chancery Court, corporate lawyers representing institutional investors were also celebrating. By publicly detailing exactly how deeply xAI's software is integrated with Tesla's hardware, Musk provided the specific technical connection required to substantiate the claims of the pending shareholder lawsuit. In his effort to build the ultimate automation agent, Musk triggered a strict corporate governance trap. The very announcement meant to showcase his technological dominance is now the evidence being used in an attempt to strip him of his $250 billion private artificial intelligence empire and force a total transfer of ownership back to Tesla. To understand why the legal threat is so severe, we have to look at how Digital Optimus is engineered. The architecture is explicitly modeled on cognitive psychologist Daniel Kahneman's dual-process theory of human thought, dividing the computational workload into two highly specialized layers. A large language model is an artificial intelligence algorithm trained on broad datasets to recognize, translate, predict, and generate human text. This system map shows System 2 acting as the strategic brain. This layer is powered by xAI's Grok large language model, operating entirely on cloud server clusters. Grok handles high-level reasoning and long-term planning. It processes a complex objective, like auditing expense reports, and breaks it down into a sequence of abstract instructions. Those abstract instructions are sent down to System 1, which acts as the instinctive hands. This layer runs locally on Tesla's proprietary AI4 inference chip, using edge computing. Edge computing processes data locally on the physical device itself rather than relying on distant cloud servers. It processes a continuous rolling 5-second video buffer of a computer screen, executing the physical mouse movements and keystrokes dictated by the cloud brain. Legacy tools rely on robotic process automation, or RPA. RPA is a technology that deploys software robots to extract data and perform routine tasks by reading the underlying source code of a website. If a web page updates its layout, the code breaks and the RPA fails. Digital Optimus bypasses this entirely by looking at the screen dynamically, identifying buttons using computer vision exactly like an autonomous car navigating an intersection. Because the Tesla AI4 chip runs locally at the edge, it avoids server lag. It identifies user interface elements and reacts with a claimed latency of under 50 milliseconds. Latency is the total time it takes for a data packet to travel from a source to its destination and back. Relying entirely on cloud-based processing to run thousands of continuous agents is computationally crippling and expensive. By offloading the visual processing to mass-produced automotive chips that cost roughly $650 each, Macrohard drastically undercuts the operating costs of cloud-only competitors. Industry analysts refer to this specific integration as cross-platform industrial synergy. It requires fusing Tesla's cheap physical manufacturing capabilities with xAI's digital reasoning networks. If a vision-based digital worker can navigate legacy software natively and affordably, enterprise clients no longer need to pay for complex API integrations. Macrohard threatens to render the subscription-based enterprise software model obsolete. Yet the elegant technical architecture presented on stage masked a severe internal crisis. Despite billions in funding, xAI was failing to match the coding capabilities of market leaders like OpenAI and Anthropic, struggling to produce reliable, enterprise-grade software. This lack of competitiveness triggered a severe talent hemorrhage. Heavyweight artificial intelligence researchers like Zhihong Dai abandoned the project. Within a few years, only 2 of xAI's 11 original co-founders remained at the company. To compensate for the vanishing institutional knowledge, management mandated a grueling work culture. Software engineers began publicly boasting on social media about completing 19-hour continuous shifts, sparking online debates about corporate burnout. The intense pressure to deliver the Macrohard project resulted in draconian employee tracking measures, including a proprietary surveillance system known as Starfleet. Employees openly revolted against the daily monitoring. Leaked internal messages described the policies as manipulation masked as culture. In a bid to save the project, Musk hired highly respected former DeepMind researcher Toby Pollan to lead the Macrohard division. Pollan abruptly resigned a mere 16 days after taking the position. This rapid exit signaled to the broader industry that the internal architecture was compromised. It precipitated a mass exodus of over 20 dedicated software engineers from the Macrohard division. Then, the development pipeline hit its lowest point. To maintain any velocity at all, XAI engineers were caught covertly using Anthropic's rival Claude language models, accessed through a coding app called Cursor, to write the underlying code for Grok. Anthropic quickly discovered this usage. They deemed it a violation of their competitive restrictions and summarily banned all of the XAI engineering accounts from their platform. Co-founder Tony Wu sent an internal email to the remaining staff, plainly admitting that the ban would cause a significant hit to the company's daily productivity. The startup aiming to automate the global software engineering industry lacked the foundational capability to build its own artificial intelligence without secretly leasing a direct competitor's brain. Faced with a failing private startup, Musk initiated an internal bailout. He utilized his broader corporate empire, extracting resources from his publicly traded entities to prop up XAI, treating his companies as a fluid ecosystem. A GPU is a specialized electronic circuit designed to rapidly process mathematical calculations, making it the essential hardware for training artificial intelligence. This flow diagram illustrates the intervention. In December 2023, Tesla placed large orders for Nvidia H100 Tensor Core GPUs to build out their internal supercomputers. Instead of fulfilling the order, Musk personally intervened and diverted approximately 12,000 of these highly constrained chips away from the automaker and directly to X and XAI. The estimated market value of this diverted hardware was roughly $500 million. Musk publicly claimed the diversion was necessary because Tesla lacked the physical factory space to house the chips. However, leaked internal Nvidia memos showed this rerouting directly conflicted with Tesla's own stated forecasting, actively delaying Tesla's internal deployment timeline. The extraction extended beyond hardware. Musk shifted human capital, directly transferring Ethan Knight, the absolute chief of Tesla's computer vision team, off the automaker's roster and onto the XAI payroll. This ongoing resource drain triggered backlash from major retail investors. Billionaire Leo Kogwan, one of Tesla's largest individual shareholders, publicly blasted Musk for abandoning the automaker. He announced he had purchased $180 million in Nvidia stock to explicitly protest Musk's divided attention. Despite the growing anger, the direct financial subsidies continued. In January 2026, Tesla's board of directors approved a $2 billion capital injection straight from Tesla into XAI. 1 month later, SpaceX acquired XAI in a complete all-stock transaction. The deal valued the combined aerospace and artificial intelligence entity at $1 trillion. This effectively sheltered XAI under the SpaceX corporate umbrella, centralizing Musk's financial leverage and securing funding for the Colossus server clusters. Conclude that while cannibalizing his public companies successfully masked XAI's technical deficits, the systematic extraction of resources triggered a direct legal challenge from institutional investors. In June 2024, the Cleveland Bakers and Teamsters Pension Fund filed a derivative lawsuit against Elon Musk in the Delaware Chancery Court. The entire litigation hinges on a strict legal mechanism known as the corporate opportunity doctrine. Under Delaware corporate law, a controlling executive cannot secretly divert a lucrative business opportunity away from a public corporation for their own private financial gain. The plaintiffs argue that artificial intelligence and robotics are inherent Tesla corporate opportunities. Musk himself has constantly reinforced this point on social media, frequently referring to Tesla as an artificial intelligence and robotics company. Armed with specific physical evidence, the lawsuit meticulously details the $500 million hardware diversion and the transfer of premier engineers like Ethan Knight, framing it as a direct theft of Tesla's future. To defend against this, Musk's legal team constructed a fragile shield. They argued that xAI and Tesla do not actually compete. They claimed xAI was strictly a language model laboratory, while Tesla focused purely on physical automotive autonomy, operating in separate domains. This defense held together right up until the March 11, 2026 announcement of Macrohard. Standing on stage, Musk explicitly stated that the system requires deep integration to function. He clearly described xAI's Grok as the essential brain guiding Tesla's physical hardware. By publicly confirming this synergy, Musk shattered his own legal defense. He provided the plaintiffs with publicly recorded proof that xAI's core technology is directly applicable to and necessary for Tesla's future product pipeline. The plaintiffs now have a straightforward argument. If this artificial intelligence technology is this vital to Tesla's success, it legally should have been developed natively using Tesla's funds for the benefit of public shareholders. The remedy sought by the Delaware Chancery Court is severe. They are petitioning to force Musk to disgorge his entire equity stake in xAI. If the court rules against him, ownership of the $250 billion private laboratory would be transferred directly back to Tesla. He would lose independent, unmitigated control over his quest for artificial general intelligence. Elon Musk set out to build the ultimate digital agent capable of running entire companies autonomously. But by rushing to showcase his engineering dominance, he accidentally engineered a legal mechanism perfectly designed to automate the loss of his own empire.